This is a good one for sure. This video title came to me, and I get this question more than a few times. They're like, I love the person, or sometimes they don't love them actually, but I'm in a relationship, and we used to vibe, man. We used to be super connected, and then in time, I don't know, like the gap in the consciousness is different now. And then they worry, like, I don't know, is this ego talking? Like, am I like think I'm better? And we have to look at all that stuff. That happened to me too when I was. See, if you're on this real accelerated path of evolution, if it's accelerated, yeah, this is gonna happen, man. This is gonna happen. Most people aren't on the. God didn't push the run on the software that says accelerate evolution. He didn't push it. So they go very slow and does everything. And those of you who got the upgrade to accelerate the evolution, things don't match after a while sometimes in a relationship. Yeah, that happened to me with my my first good one, karmic one, soulmate one when I was like 22. First 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year, man, it was cool. It was good. But then the gap, the gap, that's usually why relationships end. Of course, that's not articulated. It's called something else. Are intruders coming? I heard something. It's called something else. Oh, it's because like they're doing this or they're doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna walk. I'll be back. So it's like, see him. So it's because they don't like understand me, or they don't respect me. It's always called something else. It's never like really seen for what it is. It's like you're in two different worlds trying to communicate with each other, is what it really is. But then the mind says, well, they don't understand, they don't respect me. No, it's just like, yeah, they don't understand. That's why. That's the point. If the gap in consciousness is too big, they're not going to understand. Let me give a Buddha example story. Buddha was, he left, right? He left his wife and his baby because he was burning with such deep desire for self-realization. So he had to leave. He's like, I got to like figure out like what the hell life's about. Because he was traveling on the road. He never left his palace, but then he was traveling. Somebody, he wasn't supposed to leave his palace because of this very reason, but God worked it out because Buddha was supposed to be Buddha. So he was traveling down the road with the maintenance worker or something. I don't know. Somehow he was in the car. He saw a dead body on the road. Yeah, that's not very uncommon actually in India. I mean, now it's different, but back in the day. So that triggered the whole contemplation. It's like, why is it like, what's that? And then the maintenance person's like, it was a dead body. So what do you mean dead? He says, yeah, I mean, these bodies are going to die at some point. You don't stay in them forever. He didn't know that. He says, really? He says, yeah. So he's like, well, what's the point of even being here then? What's the point of life? Like, what are we doing? The gardeners, I don't know, man, but like, just go enjoy. So that contemplation, that question of wondering, why are we here if these bodies are just going to die? I can apply that too to the people that are so obsessed with vanity and how do I look and, oh, I got to stay young. Like, do you realize how silly that is? It's just silly. It's almost like when you're a kid, you're short, and then you start to grow taller, and then it's like being obsessed with trying to stay short. Like, you can't stop it. Like, you're going to keep getting taller. Well, the body's going to keep dying, the law of decay. So anyway, Buddha needed to find some answers, and he couldn't find them at the palace. So then he realized, like, the only thing I can do, man, I got to leave. So he left. Then he came back 18 years later, and this is the point. Two universes talking to each other. Buddha came back, his dad was there, wife was there, the baby was there. He gave his, well, it wasn't a baby anymore. He gave his kid now, Buddha gave him his begging bowl. The dad and the wife thought it was a joke. The wife said something like, are you serious? You like disappear for 18 years and you come back and you're giving him a begging bowl? Like, this is like, you see? But what it was, that begging bowl was packed full of life force. because he did so much sadhana. And that begging bowl was always with him. It's like going to a shrine or something. Why, if any of you have been to a shrine, you know the energy. Sometimes it's very palpable. Or a certain meditation center or just anything. The energy's strong. You know, it's like a container because of so much sadhana and worship. And so that was why he gave the begging bowl. It was like the ultimate gift, actually. It's like initiation. So anyway, the wife and father didn't understand. The father says, look, man, it's cool. You left. We forgive you. Just please stay here now. Now you're back. Buddha's like, I can't, man. It's not the destiny. So, and then the father and wife, they're resentful. They don't understand. Buddha is on another level. They're on another level. And so there's a problem, seemingly. For Buddha, it's not a problem because he knows they don't understand. Of course, he still feels like, you know, he's human, still have an emotional body. That doesn't go away. But you just see it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. All right, if that starts happening in a relationship where the worlds are just getting too separated, yeah, it's going to end. Now, especially, okay, here's the other side, though. We like to give other angles here, although I can never give all the angles, and then people, the smart asses say, oh, yeah, but it's like this and that. I'm like, yeah, good, man. Okay, you got it figured out. Nice. I can't cover everything. 15 minutes. If there's a gap, and if there's arrogance and ignorance, and they don't even try to understand, or you don't try to understand them, you see, this is arrogant and ignorance and closed-mindedness. This is that relationship's going to end. Now, the exception is if there's a gap in consciousness, but there's innocence present in the other partner. There's a surrender in them. There's a natural spiritual, awareness in them. Man, then it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares if they're able to understand if the things that you're trying to explain and articulate, how deep they can go. It doesn't matter. That innocence is present. That's all that matters. If they got your back, no matter what happens, for example, they just got your back. You just know, like they're there for me. Yeah, you keep them. Who cares? Actually, that's a very high level of spiritual evolution. I've said before, there's people and villagers who can be totally awake and they don't know anything about being awake. They don't know those concepts and labels. Yeah, good. Yeah, we need to forget those also. They just make trouble a lot of times. Why do we like the little kitties and puppies so much? Innocence and babies and children. There's innocence. They're not trying. They don't have this guile. They're not trying to even when ego comes out, the innocence overrides it. It's still cute. Yeah, okay, yeah. See, but when we start to grow older and the ego gets more seasoned, it just starts to leave a bad taste in your mouth. But when that innocence is intact, it's like I can't get away with doing things I used to do when I was a kid or teenager. Now, it looks funny. That's why I share those examples about when I was in Thailand and a bunch of the Asian countries, South American countries, the girls, the guys, the older guys are chasing the girls, chasing them, Like, oh, wow, she looks really good, damn. It looks funny. 50, 60 years old doing that, it just looks funny. Now, if you're a teen or something, it's somehow acceptable. Yeah, okay, we understand that stage, you see? So, most people don't grow out of their habits and shortcomings still. There's so many adult teenagers walking around who have the emotional, IQ of a kid still. Because the world, this is what it is, man. Okay, anyway. If that innocence is intact, oh man, that energy, it's so pure, it's so good. That's different. That's different than those beings, they're a keeper. So, if you're with somebody, to summarize, and the gap in consciousness is too much. It's going to end anyway, though. You don't even need to worry about it. What should I do? And there was a girl I talked to. We've done sessions now for a couple of years, I think. I saw the whole process. That gap happened between her and her husband, you see. And she realized it. Well, just because you realize it doesn't mean like, okay, you're going to go in now and say, okay, goodbye, I'm leaving. There's too much of a gap now in our consciousness. It has its own, like we're all in a book. It has its own chapter. We got to go through the chapters, and it comes to a natural ending. We got to let it happen like that. And so it took about 1.5 years, and then her ending came, and it's okay. When you start trying to force things and manage it, then you get into trouble. I had a girlfriend too, and a friend, he was sensitive. He's like, bro, you can't satisfy her. She wants things from you that you're not like willing to give. You don't want to be in a committed physical partnership. Like, what are you doing? I said, yeah, I know, man. Of course, this is going to end. But what do you want me to do? It was like at night, and she was in bed. We were outside talking after a mega dose of San Pedro. That was a hell of a night. Got some good stories that are coming in this psychedelic book that I wrote. Anyway, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Go and like wake her up and say, like, look, I realize this is going to end. No, we have to let it play out. And it did play out. That's the story I told. I think I told it on this channel. I can't remember, man. It's like, did I say this to somebody in person or in the channel or in a group or in a private session? You know what I mean? It's kind of all come together now. Merges together. But it ended when we did again. We did medicine, and the next morning it was a group of people, and then 2 girls walked to the river, and then I went to the river to see if they were naked, and then I came back and got scolded, and then it ended. That's how it ended, on New Year's Eve. So it had to come to a natural end. That's what I'm saying. Trust God, trust the universe. It wrote the book, and it's like taking care of all the chapters. You just show up. Me and my Indian friend were talking. We're talking about how like this whole thing is such a cosmic automaton. Even me talking right now and walking, like it's like I'm watching myself in a movie, acting. It's like I'm acting, and you can't turn it off. There's no like, I had a non-dual realization. I realized nothing exists. No, it just keeps going. Keeps going. And then you play your part. You're like, you let the part be played. It's not even you're playing it. It's just being played. And you feel like it's you to a certain degree. Yeah, that's normal too. It's mind trippy. Yeah, of course it's trippy for the mind, because the mind can't understand this. This is happening on a level beyond mind. And the mind, this level created the mind. The mind can't understand its creator. So, yeah, welcome to spiritual evolution. All right, I'll see you.